And is one of the guys in the front is stranger from Santa Cruz. He's from MS. All the Northerners are up against the wall right here. There's barely only a couple, no more than 10 of them.
You read that? We should put it down right. That played a big role in the lawsuit in the look.
Those benches that are right there at the bottom of the screen, right there, those are the Crips, where the Crips be at. That handball court that they're up against right there, those are where the Northerners used to play handball with. And then there's a handball court right here, that's the Southern handball court. And right there where they're getting down on the Northern handball court, there's only like 10 of them out there against that whole mob.
Northerners still came out.
Man.
Right when this is happening, my cellie was crazy from MS-13 in Santa Cruz.
He was in building
and his
3.
uncle Stranger was in building 1. So they let the Northerners out, like 10 of them. They just let like a tier out. And then they let building 1 out. They let a bunch of tiers out though at the same time out of building 1. Even the officers were upset because the Northerners had jumped on a dude that was crippled. He had 1 leg. And so when the Northerners had jumped on the Southsiders, a crippled dude had went down on that too. So everybody was kind of mad at the Northerners because they did that movida, right? So the officers let a few of them out and then was letting building 1 out, but they didn't release them all. They made sure a couple tiers were out. And once they were all in the rotunda area, they just released. They popped open that gate, and they all came running out. Well, they walked a little bit because from building 1 to those handball courts, it's about 100 feet, right? As you see in the video, they rushed up against the wall and the benches where the Northerners was at, but there's only 10 of them, right? The rest of the mob was nothing but Southsiders, man. But yeah, the administration was upset at the Northerners, but they did too much by doing it the way they did, right?
Hey man, you already know what it is, man. John the Hitman, Diesel. Let's go straight to it. Hey, back at it like a real trap addict, man. Fucking weedy. Anyhow, look, man. Bloop bloop, subscribe, notification, all that, man. Come on, man. Fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all y'all, anyways, man, for tuning in because, hey, let's get some more views though, man. Let's go. Let's get to 50, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, because I'm on some true crime, for real. Check it out. And I'll give you, I tell it how it is, right? So, what's going on in Old Folsom, man? Boy, look, Old Folsom's always been a dangerous prison. I've been in Old Folsom 3 times. I was there the very last time the Northerners were ever allowed at that prison. Did you know that the North and South went to war for that yard for so long? They went at it until they weren't ready to go. Like, the Northerners didn't go on it because they just, we're gonna give up this prison. Now the department moved them out.
Administration did.
Pretty much, they lose the war, right? But the guy was up there with Nacho from East 15, fool. You know what I'm saying? When Nacho went down for knocking down his own partner from East 15, he knocked him down, fought you. You niggas, look. This is real Chicano history right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Nacho from East 15, he knocks down he get convicted for knocking down Fachu, you know what I'm saying? Both from East 15, Norteños, Northerners, right? From 23rd E15, right? You know what I'm saying? Nacho goes to prison, right? I see him in Old Folsom. The time that I seen Chompies from Fruitville, who had became a paisa in prison, right? But we're going to get to all that later, right? We talking about Old Folsom, right? Because Old Folsom's always been active. That riot that I'm telling you about, the last 2 riots, I was there. I was there at that yard. I was on a parole violation. I was on a parole violation with a gang of lifers, man. Straight up. On a parole violation for DUI, nigga. Right. They gave me a year with, back then you'd have to do it like 9 months or some shit like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You had to bring them 9, 10 months, right? Then they'll let you go when you got a year, unless you got a flat time and you got the whole year. So I go to Old Folsom on a motherfucking parole violation. You know what I'm saying? Boy, look, let me tell you what was going on. Nacho from East 15 was there, right? You know, they cool though. He recognized me. He was like, man, what's going on? He recognized me. It was all good, right? With Nacho from East 15, right? So, Nacho from East 15 was there. A dude that I robbed for a kilo. A dude that I robbed for a kilo, nigga. He used to own a bar over there on High Street. He was from Jalisco. Niggas that know. The nigga lands in Old Folsom, bro, and he recognized me. I swear to God. He recognized me. So look. So a paisa that I robbed, right? He was in the pen, right? And Chompies from Fruitville that knocked down the homeboy from 94th Border Brother, right? They killed him on 94th, and that's what kicked it all off. He was a northerner. He went to prison, and I seen him in prison.
He became a paisa.
And the dude that had the yard was a Border Brother at that time. I swear to God, nigga, a Border Brother had the yard. His name was Pancho from Ensenada. Motherfuckers know Francisco Ibarra. You know what I'm saying? You know, tall dude. You know what I'm saying? He was from Ensenada, and he knew my homeboy Big Negro. Nigga, what the fuck you mean?
All this
You know
turned
my
that
homeboy
right.
Big Neto ran through there. My homeboy Big Neto, you know what I'm saying? He OG. You know what I'm saying? He was up in Old Folsom with Pancho from Ensenada. There was a few Border Brothers on that yard at that time. You know what I'm saying? And he got took out later on by a paisa though. Some paisa from Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? Look, I had a gang of issues in Old Folsom, man. Look, if you can't get away with a homicide in Old Folsom, then you shouldn't even be part of a gang. Unless they want you to go, because nowadays they be wanting you to go. Okay? But, bro, Old Folsom has so many blind spots, man. If they really wanted this dude done, they could have got him out the way, and nobody didn't have to know who did it.
MS dude that just
You know what
died.
I'm saying? It's, like I said before, these old prisons are dangerous. There's too many blind spots, man. People that been to Old Folsom know that motherfuckers done got hit. You know what I'm saying? Because you can hit people in building one got their own yard. You remember in the movie where American Me dude, the shot caller, was coming out of the building one. He was coming out to the yard, saying he met up with his partners. That building is building one, right? He's coming out. I'm gonna show y'all some clips. I'm gonna show y'all what's what, right? Because like I said before, that yard was, look, every time I was there, it was cracking off, right? So I was there at that riot. That riot that's on the internet, that thing, I was there, nigga. Look, that time where dude from Fruitville was there, the Norte there was there for, I brought it to their attention that I wanted to get down with him, right? But the dude, the Border Brother dude was like, nah, we ain't on the streets, bro. Cut that shit out. Go sit down somewhere. Straight up. I was hella young too. I'm talking about, we talking 20 years ago, bro. 20 years ago. I was already in the game though. Let me see what I was 20 years ago. Yeah,
25 years ago,
right? You
man.
understand? So, I ended up doing my violation and all that, and I ended up coming home on that one, right? But Crazy from MS-13 was my cellie.
When I
From Santa
paroled.
Cruz.
Paroled from a lockdown.
Crazy from Santa Cruz, from the MS out there, was my cellie. His uncle, Stranger, from motherfucking MS, was in Building 1. He was part of that riot because when they let Building 1 out, the final riot, the one that decided it all, like whoever, the department was wondering what they were going to do. Like, who should we keep? And the police was like, man, look, let them fight it out. Let them fight, right? You know, they were doing some sick shit, man, right? It, like I said, it's sadistic in there, right? Because it's you got some mentality in there, some cannibalistic mentality up in there, right? They'll sit there and laugh. Somebody getting poked, getting his noodles pulled out, bam, you know what I'm saying? And they'll sit there and laugh, right?
Even the
and
COs.
taking all the credit for it, right? Because he's the one that called that shot, right? But, boy, I'm telling you, this shit ain't no joke. And look, prison is crazier than ever now, right? So anyhow, look, hold on. Back to the shit. So, the Northerners were there. Let me tell you what happened right quick. So the Northerners, they jumped on a couple Southsiders in the shower area on the yard. They had showers on the yard, right? But the Northerners had jumped on some older vatos, right? These were young niggas, bro. Nigga, I was up there with motherfucking Green Eyes, nigga, from Watsonville. He was a Norteño, Green Eyes, nigga, from Watsonville. You know what I'm saying? Payaso from Sanjo. Nigga, they was on my tier. My celly was from MS. Nigga, look, I was like this. Look, man, if it's got to jump, it's got to jump. The door, if their doors crack, whatever, you know, yeah, we're going to have to get on them, right? Because this is what it is right now. But it didn't stop me from talking to them. They was behind the wall. Like, some of them didn't want to fuck with me. They was like, nah, that nigga still there with a scrap, man. Nigga still there with a scrap. You know how they be behind the door, man. You know what I'm saying? But they wouldn't say it loud, but that's how I know that's what they're thinking, right? You can tell because they ain't talking to you, right? But Green Eyes from Watsonville used to fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? I never ran no kites though, like you know what I'm saying? No, nothing political, nothing like messages, none of that. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and they wouldn't even attempt to ask me to do something like that. That's not the protocol. That's not what to do, right? They're not gonna send a message with somebody else that runs something else, knowing I'm like my celly's a Southsider, right? So hold on. So the Northerners jumped on the Southsiders. And one of the Southsiders was handicapped, right? And that's what kind of pissed them off, right? So everybody went on lockdown. I was still there with Crazy from MS, you know what I'm saying? From Santa Cruz, crazy motherfucker. Come on, look at his name, Crazy, right? Oh, he was my celly, like I said before. His uncle, Stranger from MS, was in Building 1. Again, you know what I'm saying? I used to fuck with him too, man, because, you know, Border Brothers used to beef with MS. In San Francisco, I'd be like, yeah, we used to run all over y'all, nigga. We used to run all over y'all, for San Francisco, nigga. He didn't like that shit, but I was just jabbing at him, bro. When we went at it against MS, look, it's always police activity over here, boy, I'm telling you. It's always police activity. Hey, but look, I used to just, you know, we did go to war with MS, but anyhow, back to the shit, I'm getting off track. Look, so MS dude comes out to the yard the next day and the story is that news clip I just put. It happened in 2002 or yeah, I think so, or whatever that year that was. But I was there. I was there because it was a lot of internal bullshit popped up with the staff. The staff had issues because of that. They did some funny shit internally, right, with their department, right? So they was under scrutiny around that time. So I think it was a couple of lawsuits was a couple heavy lawsuits came about that riot, right? But that was the very last time the Northerners were there. I think they were saying that why would they throw the Northerners out to the wolves like that? I just want to talk about old boy that they stabbed, right? I don't know what they're doing over there, man, like as inmates, right? And this dude who was previously in SNY, what the fuck are you doing there, man? That's the whole thing about that. What are you doing over there, man? You know what I'm saying? He probably did sign a chrono. Look, when you go back to the yard, you also have to sign a chrono sometimes saying that you're not going to have any problems on the yard. So they're not liable if something happens to you. Do you want to go back to the yard? You don't know how many times I've been in that situation. Do you want to go back to the yard? Hell yeah, I'm trying to go back to the yard, right? What the fuck you mean? Some motherfuckers over there that owe me. Hey, I was tearing shit up in Old Folsom, I ain't gonna lie. Yep, and then used to talk to my brother-in-law. You know who my brother-in-law's line was? My brother-in-law from Jalisco, nigga. His line was Chavo from Bakersfield and motherfucking Widow from Verdugo, nigga. The legends, bro. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. On some, you know, on some old shit, right? We talking 20 years ago, some shit down there almost, man. You know what I'm saying? It's real shit. So I was in because I was with my brother-in-law, right? You know, he was a paisano, right? He was one of them dudes, right? So he used to speak up for me, right? Like, you know, we're gonna get into it. Well, I already told y'all the story when I got into it with the Southsider. When I went back this last time, it was level 3. when I went back the last time in '08, like 8 years later, I went back. And it was a level 3. More dangerous than ever, though. Straight up. And the motherfuckers that was there around the time that I was there, y'all know that shit was active, boy. And Old Folsom has always had a reputation of being active. It just always had. Why? Because there's so many blind spots, and there's just so many people. It's so congested with people. Somebody's bound to get mad. Somebody's bound to get, you know what I'm saying, just wake up on a bad day. And you got motherfuckers. I seen some people jump off the. Yeah, so look, Old Folsom has always been dangerous. Old Folsom was where a lot of the stuff, the iconic stories, the movie American Me was made there. It just has, it had died down for a lot of years, but if you go back and look at the news, every so often you have a full scale riot at Old Folsom, like a major riot.
Most
right? I was there
don't
one
even
time
make the
too.
news.
We had a riot against the blacks. We had a riot against the blacks, man. Yeah, that, and then the whites had a riot against the blacks too, and we didn't get involved. Neither did the Southsiders, just the whites, right? And you know when the whites and the Southsiders, they like to back each other up, right? Because when it becomes racial like that, but hold on though. These dudes is white, right? So now you jump, you got to involve the Pisces and everything. You about to just tear the whole yard apart. Let them white dudes handle their business, man. Yeah, they did too. But they was outnumbered, bro. Come on, man. Bro, you got the Zillas, man, from Sacramento out there. The Zilla Cats, man. They was so deep. Oak Park was so deep, nigga. The Bay had, oh man, the Bay was so deep too. They had their own shit over there. The Bloods, the Crips, everybody was deep, nigga. Straight up. The blacks was hella thick out there, man. You know what I'm saying? The Pisces you had to link up with the Sureños over there, right? We had Blood Alley sold up. Blood Alley, that's the iconic Blood Alley. That right there was like where all the shit used to take place in Old Folsom. They call it Blood Alley because once the tower guy, once he bends that corner and go, okay, so you see the yard right here, right? Once he walks this way and goes that way, he loses sight to what's going on over here, you know. But they do got a tower, a on the floor tower, like a little control room, where the yard crew be at, and you'll get in the boxing gloves and the bullshit, right? And so right there, but the officer is facing that way with his chair. You see what I'm saying? He turned around or whatever, right? But it was so many motherfuckers. That's where everybody did the dirt at, right there. But now they got cameras, right? So they kind of stepped that game up. They said, let's put a camera. They should have been did that. But it didn't. It wasn't convenient for them to put cameras on this shit because they probably didn't pop, you know what I'm saying? They probably didn't hit somebody in the head, right? You know? But anyhow, look, Old Folsom, like if you're running a good program and you're not part of the politician shit, it's a good place to do time. Right? They got 1 yard, you can run laps. The Pisces actually, to be honest with you, the Pisces is the only group that has their own handball court. They got the handball court in the back, in Blood Alley, right? That's their handball court, right? It's clean because it's a 3-waller. You know what I'm saying? By default, right? Because they was doing some construction shit, right? And they ended up putting a piece of wood right there. But the rest was concrete, but the wood was sturdy where the ball could bounce off real smooth off of there, right? And then the Southsiders and the Whites got that handball court over there next to the Crips, right? And when the Northerners used to be on the yard, that's where they used to play, right there on that handball court with the Morenos, right? Yeah, that riot right there, it was off the hook, man. You know, like I said before, Old Folsom's always had this. Any inmate that lands in Old Folsom feels like they've reached a certain level in their life, right? Because remember, the goal was to get to Pelican Bay or Corcoran, right? Or pick up a shoe, right? You having a shoe on your record, I got two of them. Getting convicted to a shoe means you got to go do your time in the hole, and you might be put up for transfer while you're waiting, depending on how long your shoe is. They might need to transfer you up to Pelican Bay or Corcoran. But if you could finish your shoe out, sometimes you wait on the bus and it doesn't come, and you get done with your shoe. Now they either can kick you back out to the yard, or put you up for transfer, right? That's a decision that happens when that time comes, right? But yeah, because people have asked me, do I got any shoes? Yeah, I got two. I did 2 shoe terms, man. You know what I'm saying? Baby shoe terms. You know what I'm saying? For getting off on the yard. A lot of beef in Old Folsom. I actually did a removal on a soldado that was coming from New Folsom. He was supposed to have been working for somebody. I'm gonna do a story on that, on how on how that went, right? I ended up removing him off the yard because he was using that authority above and beyond, right? Like, okay, yeah, you got juice. Yeah, you talk to dude, but you can't come over here and start trying to bully motherfuckers and start trying to collect this shit. You know what I'm saying? Or try to manipulate situations on behalf of you saying that you're that. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool and respectable. That's commended. That's what people look forward to in prison, right? They look forward to these dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's like the you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But that's prison life for you. Nothing but cannibals up in there, right? To kill each other, right? But Old Folsom is a lot of people kept saying because it went to a level 2. Oh, it's a level 2. Nigga, it was level 2, but it was dangerous. That riot happened, it was level 2, right? Straight up. And when not to mention when it was a level 3 or a level 4, that's where all these dudes got made at. A lot of these dudes got made on them level in Old Folsom because they would and get away with it, fool. You know what I'm saying? But then it just, as times went on, you had to go whack somebody, and then the faction wants you to go down with it. Even with us, sometimes, man, we gotta beat you until the police stop it, until the police come. You can't just beat him and then walk off, or poke him and walk off. That's how, man. I don't never understood that, man. But you gotta. What can you do? You're gonna go up against it. You know what I'm saying? You can't wait. Oh, I know. Look, I ain't gonna do it that way. I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna poke him. And I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna pass the shank off. And there ain't no passing the shank off, man. You going to jail with it, man. You can't toss it. They got cameras now, so you guilty. You toss it, right? The camera's gonna see, unless you got some slick motherfuckers nearby. But nah, it's over. And now, here's the more clever one, though. How about we just knock him down in the cell? And there's no way to know.
Have his cellies knock him down.
If it's time, your time is up in that cell. Think about it. That's why look, I'm gonna end my video like this. Look, go to prison. If you go to prison, just be quiet, bro. Just be quiet, go do your time. Look, you fucked up on the street. Go in there and rehabilitate yourself, man. Go in there and just be quiet, man. You know what I'm saying? Do your time. But I understand that even those that stay quiet, if your number gets called to go do something, you're gonna have to go. That's the bad part about committing crimes and having to be part of a gang. That is part of it. Even if you want to change your life, when you got to the county and you caught that case, you're like, yeah, all right, man, I'm not gonna do this shit no more, right? But until you get out, you're still a part of it, right? So because you're from that gang, and your gang reps that number, and now you're in prison, so we can ask you. We can technically ask you. They can ask you to go do something, right? But mostly the ones that go are the ones that have been fucking up on the yard. However, they can ask you. You might have had a release date, right? Look, I know a northerner from Modesto, young kid, grew up with my son. Went to prison, had a release date. He blew it. He blew his release date. Never getting out. Caught a hot one up in there. John Diesel, man. I'm gone.